What's up, everyone? I just wanted to do a quick live session and just really just talk about some of the major changes that we're seeing. Literally, this happened, I think, about a couple hours ago. And I just wanted to go over some of the information just so that you are all well prepared for, all these changes that are happening. Thankfully, Sawyer really made it easy with a couple of his tweets to just really break it down. So let's just go through some of that and then, what we can do from there is just potentially discuss some of the implications that this may mean. So, as you can see, the Model 3 rear-wheel drive is at now 43,990. And this is a drop of about 6.4% from $47,000. The Model 3 Performance is at 53,990, and this is a 14.2% drop, which is pretty hefty on the performance. You also have the Model Y long range, which is also at 52,990, and this is a 20% drop. And actually, this is kind of the landmark. This is like the best-selling car, so this is a huge drop. This is going to have huge implications on the demand, in my opinion, for this, especially as it's all timely. We saw the China drop, making those cars very affordable as well, and so these new price points are going to be very attractive. I just want to also hit the Model Y performance is at 56,990 versus 69,990. That's a 23% price drop. So again, I think the big thing here is that you can really see these on the performance, especially. The price drop is very hefty. So we did see the $7,500 price drop or tax credit at the end of Q4 on some Model 3s and Model Ys. And again, that was just to move some of the late inventory that they had. And here, these price drops are even more significant than that. And what's crazy, again, I'm not going to have all the details per se, but what's pretty insane is that some of the Model Ys, like for example, the Model Y long range 7-seater. Again, the price you see here is not that config per se, and we can even actually, if we want to, we could just go configure one right now. But if you qualify from a income tax perspective, you could actually, or based on your income, you could actually get another $7,500 off of this 53,000 here on the Model Y. So it's pretty insane, just to see a lot of these price drops happening. Again, you're talking about potentially a Model Y long range that's at $45,000 or $46,000. And so this is just going to push. I personally think that, if people were holding off, this is, again, depending on their financial situation, this is definitely going to move a lot of Model Ys. It's going to definitely allow for people that were a little bit worried about buying a car. Again, again, I'm talking about the Model Y long range at 66,000 to drop it to 53,000 with a $7,500 tax rebate. That's huge. You're talking about, again, I don't have a Camry right in front of me, but I do know that a Toyota Camry, you're talking at, let's say it's maxed out, that's roughly what, 40,000. And so you're talking about a $5,000 difference, $5,000 to $6,000 difference. It's just insane to think that, again, these cars are becoming more and more affordable. Again, you're talking, Tesla had raised the prices. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me. They had raised the prices a ton over the past couple of years with COVID and inflation and crazy supply chain costs. So now when you compare, let's say even, a Toyota Camry, a CRV, and you look at especially a gas one, if you compare that over the 10-year, you're easily talking that these EVs are going to, obviously, the cost of maintenance is a lot cheaper. You're not going to be paying for gas. And so it becomes a no-brainer. I think that's, again, probably the biggest thing for EVs is that typically it's a little bit upfront costs. but if you can bite the bullet on that long term, you'll be fine. So just really, really, excited for these changes and what that means. I'm gonna jump real quick again. Shout out to Sawyer for covering this and just making it really simple to just go over this. I wanted to hit the Model S and X. Again, the Model S currently is at 94,990, down from 105,000, which is a 10% drop. Again, I'm rounding there. The Model S Plaid is down to 115,000 versus the 136,000. Again, it's pretty insane. I'm just gonna close some of those messages. But yeah, I think clearly you're seeing the performance in the Plaids making the biggest adjustments. The Model X is 110,000 versus the 121,000. Again, that's a 9.1% drop. And then the Model X Plaid is down to 120,000 versus the 140 that it was at before, or 139,000, which is a 14% drop. So again, and I think actually the S and the X, they had that $7,500 rebate as well, and clearly you can see these price drops are even more significant than that. So it's just really cool. I think it's very timely. Again, we're about 2 weeks away from the earnings call with Tesla, and so lots happening. But I'm just want to put this out there. It's just insane how far ahead I think Tesla is on the competition. Not only how far ahead it is on the competition, but how well they're prepared just going into this recession. With $21 billion cash, they're making price cuts. Again, we haven't even heard back from the Fed on some of the nuanced EV credits that they had. Again, like the Model Y 5-seater wasn't eligible, but the Model Y 7-seater is. So we haven't even heard back on a lot of the feedback that a lot of people within the community were letting the IRS and really our president know. So even though we haven't even heard back from that, they're making these adjustments um, in anticipation of this recession. And this company has been optimizing for their margin for the past several years, right? I mean, they're talking industry standard margins for the auto market, which is very, very uncommon. I believe it was Sandy Monroe who had put out some information. Tesla has about a 9x margin dollars than Toyota does, right? So again, this is the perfect time. Obviously, we'll see how this impacts the margin per se, but hopefully some of those they can continue to optimize the supply chain and also to just the production costs. And who knows, maybe even with these price cuts, they can potentially stay at the same margin. So without getting much more into it, again, I just wanted to lay that out and just kind of have this as a resource. Thanks for joining me pretty late tonight. But yeah, just appreciate you. Thank you again. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe. Hopefully this can be really helpful to everyone. And yeah, so I don't know, Tony, what's up, man? Just want to say hi. Matt, yeah, I guess sorry, it's a rounding error, but obviously this was a tweet that wasn't mine. And then, yeah, Allison, yeah, this is definitely massive news. And of course, nobody's going to be talking about it. Actually, you know what? Since you guys are all here, we might as well. Let's just, I think it's actually Farzad. Let's see. So Farzad, he had put out some pretty epic information. Let me just find this stuff real quick and I will share it with everybody. All right, let's do this. So here we go. Okay. All right. So Farzad, thank you. He put out a price comparison of the Tesla standard model, Tesla standard and long range vehicles after this price cut versus some of the other EV competitors. And you can see, like, let's just talk about the Tesla Model 3, again, 5-seater versus the Mach E. You're talking about, what is that, a $3,000 difference now? And then same thing with the Audi Q4 Premium. Again, it's even cheaper. Again, that's kind of more of the Q4 is more of a SUV anyways. But as you start to see, let's look at the Model Y, for example. Literally, the Model Y standard and long range is essentially at what the Q4 is at. But again, it's cheaper than the Mach-E, it's cheaper than the Cadillac Lyric, and then again, the Mach-E long range. It's just cheaper. So I think, it's a pretty big deal. Yeah, it looks like some of these variations are rear wheel drive and all wheel drive. But this is going to be a pretty big deal. Hey, Keith, is that I don't have the thing actually on hand, but what I don't have off the top of my head is what specifically with the Model 3, if that applies exactly for the tax credit. But long story short, you're beginning to see now Tesla, because they have spent these past several years adjusting to the market, as far as, obviously dealing with a crazy bunch of supply chain issues, finally scaling. I mean, Austin, Berlin, are up and running and scaling at quick rates, right? At fast rates. And then Shanghai has been ramping. Obviously, they've had, a lot of COVID issues. But now it's one of those things where Tesla has increased their prices pretty significantly over the past couple of years. Again, I don't have the numbers right in front of me. And now they're in a situation now where they actually can adjust the prices down and potentially continue to keep the same margin, which is going to be a pretty big deal. So, again, I don't really know what this will mean on the margin, what this will mean. I hopefully there's a stock pop tomorrow, but I think it's going to make even more sense to now buy a Tesla compared to the supposed competitors, right? So, especially in the U.S., in Europe, and all these other markets, it's just a no. It's just going to be a no-brainer because, again, just to talk about the Tesla difference, I'll hit this again. I don't want to don't want to keep you all up late tonight, but the big deal here is that, when you look at Tesla versus the competition, if you want to call it that, um, supercharging network, there is no comparison, right? Electrify America, people just have horrible, horrible experiences. Nothing's reliable. Like, it's not something I personally can recommend. Obviously, buying an EV in general is going to be a win to get gas cars off. But the biggest thing is that, if you can imagine, is that, imagine being with a young family. I have a young family, and can I recommend another family next door to go buy let's say a Ford Mach-E, even a Rivian, a Cadillac? There's not a reliable network that can get you across America like the Tesla supercharging network. So, again, I'm all for EVs, but when it comes to the Tesla difference, there is no comparison when it comes to supercharging network. Also, too, if you talk about, let's get into, just the fact that a Tesla is literally a computer on wheels. All of these other companies, old legacy auto companies, they're hardware companies or car companies first. Tesla clearly is different. Again, some of these companies, they're putting out some okay software, but you're talking about something where most of, like, even some of the supposed like recalls that Tesla has, it is fixed with a software update. And again, the Jaguar I-Pace and some of these others, the Chevy Bolt, some of these others, you'll actually have to go to the dealership, and you'll have to go to the dealership and get fixed, right? Or get this update or whatever it may be. So Tesla's able to change their vehicles, optimize it, increase range, increase the performance boost, all from software updates. So again, now we've talked about the charging difference. We've talked now about the software difference. I haven't even really gotten into the full self driving difference. Obviously, FSD beta is now in wide release. So if you bought a Model Y today, and yeah, you bought a Model Y today, and you bought FSD with it, within a day or two, you would get this wide release. And this car doesn't matter where you are in the US or even part of Canada, it can drive you around, right? Obviously, we all know this thing is not perfect yet. But it's getting there, and no one is further ahead in general autonomy than Tesla. You have Waymo and Cruise who are doing great job, but they're geofenced. So what I mean by general autonomy is you can be anywhere in the US and turn on FSD and it'll take you around, right? I'm dealing with more and more drives without FSD. Sorry, I'm doing more and more drives with zero disengagements. And not only that, if you continue to just check out this channel, check out some of the drives that I've done in the rain, right? And so now, like, it's actually, and it's taking me like, so one of the drives I did, I was in a Costco parking lot. So the initial part of the drive was in a Costco parking lot, which, in my personal opinion, driving through a parking lot at Costco is harder than driving through like some of these streets here, right? So it's one of those things where, when you're in a parking lot, you're dealing with pedestrians, you're dealing with carts, you're dealing with like random debris in there. You're dealing with, again, medians all over the place, moving cars backing out. And, FSD beta is able to handle it. So, um, it's pretty insane. Also, too, again, there's tons of stuff coming to Tesla. Again, kind of a little bit back to the software. Maybe at some point they release an app store. They just released Steam, which gives you access to over several thousands of games. So again, you literally have a phone on wheels, and we'll see. I think some of you guys have mentioned, maybe that you guys are international. This is actually these price changes, I believe, are happening in Europe right now. Just more to come on that. Here, actually, let me see if I can pull it up. I believe, again, Sawyer. Shout out to Sawyer for being my source tonight, for just putting out these awesome tweets that just make it super, super simple. Yeah, Tony, that's awesome. Glad Steam's. Yeah, I've personally really enjoyed it. So I think, let's see. Okay, perfect. So Germany, I see some price. Let me add this back in. Let's hit this. I'm going to do this. Okay, so in Germany, what this means for some of the European folks that are watching. Again, I appreciate the love. Hopefully, again, like and subscribe. And again, we're just trying this stuff out. This is obviously not something I do all the time. So, but in Germany, you see the Model Y rear-wheel drive is at 44,880 euros versus 56,990 euros, which is a 21% drop. So it's even bigger in Germany. Versus what we're seeing in the US. Model Y long range is only about a 4% drop to 54,990 euros versus the 56,990 euros. And then the Model Y performance, it's literally flat. And then let's go down to the Model 3. It looks like the Model 3 rear-wheel drive is 12% drop to 49,990, and then the long range is 53,990, which is a 9.2% drop. And then for the Model 3 performance, it's down to 60,990 euros, which is a 4% drop. So it's, Model Y seems like it, but again, that's the best selling car in all of Europe. So I think Virex, I think you're asking I'm bullish. I'm very bullish tomorrow. I'm even more stoked for this upcoming year because, like I said, if you're in the US, you could potentially get let me see if I still have it open. Yeah, here it is. So if you get let's just, let me see if they're all here. Again, this is all like new to me. Again, I'm not used to doing all these like this YouTube stuff, but yeah, feel free to, let me know if you want me to try to do more of these, especially when big things like this happen. I'd love to get into it with you guys. But if you guys like hearing some of this stuff, especially for me, again, just give it a like and subscribe. So let's just go ahead and configure one of these things. So let's custom order. Let's do, I think, long range. Again, let's do purchase price. Yeah. So here, this one, let's go ahead. Yeah. Let's just keep it all basic. And then, but I want to go 7-seater. So how much does that add? Okay. So what I want to hit here is that, The Model Y seven-seater is 57,000. So after the tax credit, you're looking at about what, 49,500? Like, that is going to be insane. Again, you get a seven-seater, and again, make sure to do your own research, go double check that on the tax credit. Not claiming to be an expert, but yeah, definitely go check it out. And I really like it's going to be a game changer, I think, especially during this recession. It's going to set them up very well to weather the storm. Again, I'm really excited about what they'll do. Here, let me just go back to full scope. But I'm really excited to see what is Tesla going to guide to. So when we get to the earnings call on January 25th, what are they guiding to? Are they going to be guiding towards, 30, 40% growth? Or like, is it even going to be a little bit worse than that? But again, you have a company that is running at the most efficient rate that it's ever been running at. They're and they're scaling and a lot's happening. And what I mean by that is in 2023, what are we going to accomplish here? At least based on my limited knowledge, we're going to have the Cybertruck coming, which is going to completely destroy the trucking market. We just all know that. I mean, I think there were some crazy numbers, what, 3 million orders. Again, sure, it's $100, um, it's $100 deposit. But even if you take a small portion of that actually do it, like you're talking half a million, maybe even 750,000 of Cybertrucks that are actually going to happen depending on these amount of orders. You have the Cybertruck coming. You have the Tesla Semi ramp happening, which is again going to change the actual trucking industry, right? And I again obviously mean different than sorry, I should have said for the Cybertruck is the pickup industry, but for the Semi that's ramping, that's going to destroy the trucking market. They're able to do 500 miles with, I think, go from literally like Northern California to Southern California with 87,000 miles, I believe it was, and no charging, no stops. So it's pretty insane, because most trucking routes, like what, 80 to 90% of trucking routes are literally just straight and, up and straight through the gut of the US. So it's going to be one of those things where that's going to destroy things. We have a bunch of FSD beta updates coming this year. Again, I don't know have all the clues on that, but you know that the software is going to get better. Again, I was for some of these that are just tuning in for the first time, you may not know me. I was actually one of the first public beta testers, and the amount of changes that I've seen in the past 2.5 years is pretty incredible. Again, no one is further in autonomy, general autonomy, than Tesla. So Cybertruck, Semi ramps, and production, right, for the Cybertruck. FSD beta changes. We also have the 2 Gigafactory launches potentially this year, right? I think again the rumors are Mexico, Canada for North America, and then you have for Asia, it's Korea and Indonesia. So that's happening. You also have the energy business potentially picking up. I believe I read it was Tesla put out a bunch of stats on all of their accomplishments in 2022, and the Megapack factory in Lathrop is doing 10,000 units per year at $2 million a pop. And not only that, um, they're I think they're sold out for the next 2 years. So again, double check those numbers. Make sure to do your own research. The other thing too is that the other thing that wanted to hit on is that not only are they going to be ramping the Megapack factory and potentially even launching several other factories, but the solar business is, I think, potentially that wild card where, again, where it could really help the growth story over this recession. But who really knows? Again, those are all the major things. They're going to launch a couple of products. We all know that they have a couple like Investor Day and the shareholder meeting and some of these other things. I know they're going to eventually have the product. They're eventually going to have the product. A couple of product launch events potentially this year as well. So Yeah, I didn't really want to keep this too long of a session. I thought this was going to be like a 10-minute session, but yeah, just thought I would share some of these insights. Again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for just always supporting this club. And hopefully, like I said, maybe some of you will pull the trigger and buy a Tesla now that these prices have dropped so low. Have a good one. Tesla owners of Silicon Valley out.